Hello, 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 everybody. We are live officially. Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today it's day 2 of the Advent calendar. I was going to do this yesterday, but I was just not feeling it. Wasn't feeling well. So it's today. um, so yeah. Day 1 was a Minecraft build with fire. I will say this it won't be the last time you'll see fire. I will guarantee that. That will not be the last day you'll see fire. Today, we're gonna divert away from Minecraft. And for the people on Twitch, this is definitely something new for you guys. So I would highly recommend the people watching this on Twitch to go to my YouTube to watch the rest of this. If it will want to work. Okay, I think I got it to work. But yeah, I am still feeling the sick. So yeah. So don't mind me just being ick for an X amount of time. Because yeah, we are in pain. That's what it is. Okay. We should be having our gameplay coming up here soon. And then I'll switch the screen once it's up because it does make noise. Also, I will state this, if the music does clash, I will let you guys, tell me. I would love you guys to tell me. Because, let's be real, if you don't tell me, I'm going to leave it as is. So yeah. But yeah, Twitch knows what we're playing. And I mean, you guys can kind of see on the side. Hey, there it is. To the game screen. Our life. So we're gonna click load. And we're right here in the storyline. So we have escaped. And you can't see it, but we got Serene. And I am not going to do these until we do, when I go back to doing this again. So we'll just have these finished with the actions of Cove, but then follow the Derek storyline, because I have both. We're going to follow the Cove up until the end, and then we'll hop back in time to see what life would have been if we picked a different character. Anyways, we're going to go to Escaped. You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You have been trying to delay the end of the day as long as possible. Also, Twitch is going to find out how much of a bad reader I am. I might actually get rid of the Christmas songs, or... Hold on. I don't think I can... config. Yeah. We'll bring down the music. Yeah, did not know a lot of these are here, actually. Good to note. Anyways. Moving on. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat on your front porch, munching on fresh watermelon slices. The snack made you happy. You thought watermelons were just okay. You were eating it just because watermelon's a summer tradition. You weren't even sure why you were eating it. I love it. I say snack. You picked up another slice. Even though you already had dinner, you were still delighted to make room for watermelon. Yes, sir. Watermelon is the best. Oh, hey, Cove! You turned to look at Cove. You both had been sitting in a comfortable silence for a while now. Okay? He sat next to you, close enough for your shoulder to touch. He was happy, absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Chuckling, you watched his face twist in discomfort. He had to stop chewing to spit a seed into the bush. You shook your head in disapproval. You did the same and spat the seed into bushes. I bet I can spit a seed further than you. Honestly, I would do the disappointed, like, really. Cub shrugged, but his cheeks turned slightly pink. Ah! He glanced at you, bashfully, and you could tell he was searching for the words to explain himself. I don't really like the seeds. The hard black ones. It feels weird swallowing them whole. It makes sense, but you can't. But can you not do that here?
All right.
Okay. Oh. Dot dot dot. The dot dot dots are real. I wonder if I'll have another slice after this one. Who knows? That one was your third already. Is that bad? It tastes really good. He bumped his shoulder. Unable to resist, you knocked the most finished slice in his hand. You smiled at him. No, it's alright. Hi, Link. It's definitely bad. You sigh affectionately. I gotta do the sigh affectionately. Also, Link, I see you're on the Twitch side. I'm doing good, Link. Normally I see you on the YouTube side, so this feels weird seeing you here at Twitch. I am. Well, I'm hoping you're having a great time, Link. Or as great a time as you can. I'm a menace. Oh boy. If another slice is going to make you happy, it will. Go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. Dying from tiredness. I feel ya. Honestly, I was getting a bit tired. But I was like, I have to prepare for the stream because I didn't do this yesterday. Ko picked up another slice. He smiled at you, delighted. A little while later, Ko flinched, making a confused sound. He slowly put his current slice onto the plate next to him. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky. His feet took him to the middle of the street. Oh boy. Did you notice anything? What do you mean?
Huh.
I thought I felt a raindrop. The sun's still out. You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off your front step. Immediately, you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yelp. She is actually one of the easier words to spell. It's S-H-O-E-S. So you were just missing the E. You're right. Reet. Oh, it's raining. Instead of getting snow in this place, we're getting rain. Of course. Cove was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly than when he finally turned in your direction. When he finally turned in your direction, his face was bemused. It's a sun shower. It seems crazy, but soon you could avoid the drop began increasing into a light shower. Boomed with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and revealed in the moment. You've never heard those terms, Link? I'm gonna let you sit here. Think about it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And no, you did not kill me. But yeah, Link, you do not know what a sun shower is? Oh my word. A sun shower is when it rains and the sun's still out. That's what a sun shower is. Another term, and a term I like using, is it's raining sunshine. So yeah. Anyways, continuing on with the story. Booing with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. Clearly. You were excited. You hid from the rain. You were annoyed with the sudden sprinkling. It kind of felt special to you. I will state this. I don't mind kind of like a mini rain shower here and there. So I'm excited. You close your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. The cool drops felt so right after the warmth of the day. Saying rain is nice. Yes. Until it starts pouring heavily on you. Feeling energized, you ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he's already was. Not that he cared, because he was busy spinning in the middle of the street. True. Yep. Yeah, it's so true. You clapped and bounced up on your heels. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped and left you dripping with the smell of wet asphalt and soil tickling your nose. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back. He frowned. It's over. Yeah, Cove, it is over. Wet asphalt. The drop of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded that disappointed. Oof. Well, it was fun. I wish it lasted a little longer. I've had enough rain for one summer. You didn't have anything to say. You were charmed by Cove. I hope you wouldn't know, Link. Oh, Link, by the way, I'm going to state this now, especially on Twitch. Hello, Dre. Don, this isn't Minecraft, what? Yeah, no, this isn't Minecraft. Shocker. If on Twitch, I can confirm this on Twitch especially. I don't know if anybody's on YouTube, but YouTube has a link. Twitch, if you do exclamation mark Discord, it should give you a link to the Discord server of Fan. Wait, yes, Link is here, Dre. Anyways, we're going to move on, and I'm going to state that, well, it was fun. So, yeah. Hold on, let me show you. If you do this on Twitch, should give you guys... Yep. So, yeah. It gives you to a Discord server. So if you want to hang out in the Discord, there you guys go. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, it was so cool that it happened. Yeah, I know I'm solo streaming. This is a solo stream today. I'm not in a Discord VC because I don't need to be in a Discord VC. Anyways. Oh, I just noticed the shoulders are what? It's a hangout with all the other people in the who wants to hang out in like get to know me outside of it. It's more of a fan server basically. I've gathered that, but for people who don't know. Anyways, you then looked over at your door. Inside, you knew Ma isn't going to be happy to see you trailing water into the house. Cove rubbed his arm awkwardly. He must have been thinking the same thing, because he watched you sympathetically. Oh.
It's okay.
You could dry off in my house, if you want. My parents won't mind. I want to throw you. Nope, you're not throwing the fox. Especially when he was sick not that long ago. Thanks, let's do that. You're the sweetest guy I know. I don't want to cause trouble. I'm fine. Cove, you're the sweetest guy I know. What? Why? It's not. Why not? It's fun. No, you're not throwing me. Link, please. Oh no. I'm gonna watch. What? Dre, don't encourage Link. Anyways, thanks. It's not a big deal. COVID is to me. It is. I could already hear my mom's cries over my wet footstep being all over the halls. Lamau, don't laugh at me. Yeah, it would be, but to put a damper on the day, it would. No, we are not throwing me. Heck, I've decided to move somewhere far away from you, Link, so you can't really get to me. I'm sorry. He chuckled at his little pun. Cove led you inside and you stayed close to him. We have a ton of spare towels. I've just got to dig them out of the hall closet. Yeah, no, Link, have fun trying to find me, because I am camouflage. I am camouflaged with my surroundings. No, we're not throwing me. Thank you for doing this. What should I do? I think I'm going to need to borrow some of your clothes too. I will just thank him.
You're welcome.
No problem. It'll be a second. Just hang out in the living room, but maybe don't sit on the couch. You answered him with a slight smile. No, Link, no. 0 no's. Okay. With that, Cove disappeared and returned in no time, towels in hand. Here. Thanks. You accepted one and began patting yourself down. A sudden call caught both of your attention. I thought I heard voices. Cove's mom strolled into the living room with a curious grin.
Huh?
What happened here? You're both wet. There was a sun shower. Badass. Cove smiled back at his parent. We came inside to dry off. My moms don't want me going in the house when I'm wet. Again, Link, you're gonna have a fun time looking for me. I'm camouflaged with my surroundings, so you won't be able to find me easy, especially around this time of year.
Right.
So I told Dawn to come back here. That's very sweet of you, baby. She ruffled Ko's wet hair and laughed at the troughs of water that shook off. Then lightly came. Then a light came to Kara's
What do
eyes.
you think?
I have an idea. Why don't we all go for a drive? It has to beat standing around that house, and you'll air dry in no time. Trust me, I'm closer than you think. Yeah, I don't know if you'll find me. Cove only offered a shrug and a bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Yeah, let's do it. Want me to? I could trust me. That's only you saying you could trust yourself. Not me trusting you. I don't believe you're close, actually. I will say, yeah, let's do it. Fun. This will be good. Kara pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your mom. They had swapped numbers early in the summer.
See you soon.
Head out to the garage. I'll meet you there in just a minute. Yes, you are. And that's why I'm camouflaging with my surroundings.
Sorry.
Sorry, my mom can be so pushy. She gets some ideas in her head, and that's what she does. That's okay. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't do anything. That wasn't true at all. I wonder why. But you let him get away with that. Come on. Cove led you to your car. To your car! Cove led you to the car! Ah! And Kara wasn't too far behind.
Okay.
Okay, into the back, you two. Words. Yes, words. Once the three of you were situated inside, Kara started to drove out of the residential area. Yay. When she hit the main row, the car sped up, and she rolled the back windows down all the way.
Hey.
Hey! Cove started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying into his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped against your wet clothes. I said this drive was going to be good to getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Cove tried pressing the window button, but nothing happened. His eyebrows frowned in frustration.
Wait.
You disabled the back? Sorry, can't hear you. Smiling devilishly, Kara turned on the radio and turned it up to be heard over the wind. You laughed, enjoying the event. You were jokingly complaining about the situation. You weren't a fan of the stunt. Honestly, yes, air dry with cold, windy air. I mean, okay, by technicality, the game is set in the summer. So, it would actually be a pretty warm breeze going through. But I would laugh. I would be having a fun time. You yelled into the wind and burst into laughter. Looking over at Cove, you saw him relax. He seemed glad that you were having fun. Yeah, this game takes place completely during the summer. Oh. And then something struck inside of your leg. Several papers were free from under the car seat and were blown about. Oh, they can't go out the windows. Cove began haphazardly reach around the space to try and get all back under wraps. As you help. You help frantically. I help. I'll help. Neat. Yeah. Mom, close the windows. Cars offered no response other than chuckle. She just kept driving. Cove snatched several papers out of the air, and you caught others, preventing most of them flying out the window on your side. You showed Cove your collection while grinning widely. You figured if they weren't sitting out in the back of the car, they couldn't be important enough to get upset over. But Cove continued looking annoyed. Your smiles started to slip. At that, his expression softened. Thanks for helping. The sun set completely, and at that, car rolled up the windows. Cove let out a big sigh of release. The random bits of paper he had in his fist. My mom's crazy. Yeah, your mom's crazy, but let's be real. She is the fun parent. He ran a hand through his windblown hair and laughed with a bit of aspiration. You felt good. You didn't know what was happening anymore. You were fed up. It felt good. True. The evening had really turned out to be more interesting than you expected. Grinning, you were happy with your aunts, with whatever else happened next. Cove watched you with interest until his focus was taken aback by a new comment from his mom. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore. No, but now I feel tricked. Found a fox. Is yours? Nope. First off, what color is the fox? Because it's most likely going to be a no. Brown? Yeah, no, that's not me. I'll stay quiet. You shook your head and looked out the window. Car continued driving. The radio volume was adjusted to be closed for the closed window, and everyone was sitting more comfortably. Okay, Link, you think I keep foxes as pets? No. I don't keep them as pets. They're more friends and family. But they're not pets. Car continued driving. Oh, I already read that, didn't I? We'll move on. Kara lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around. You caught her coy smirk.
So?
Does anyone know what we drove past during the dry cycle? Odd. It had a collar. I'll figure it out who they... Okay, then it's probably a dog that looked like just like a fox. I'm not sure I want to. A movie theater. Okay. Most places have one somewhere. No, it's fine. See, I'm gonna have to disagree. Like, yeah, foxes can come brown, but I haven't seen any brown foxes in my lifetime. It isn't that late, you know. We can probably still catch a show.
What?
Really, Mom? We don't even know what we'll be playing.
Come on.
Hi, Luna. Welcome to the stream. And that's what makes it fun. Oh, gosh. I want to see a movie. No way it was not fun. Heck yeah. Are my moms expecting me back soon? Honestly, I would be asking the question. You're gonna make his parents worried. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating impulsive behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. We might never have another night like this. Oh, it is a dog. See, like I told you, it's just a dog that looked like a fox. Yeah, Luna, for context, Link is looking for me. And the only clues is I'm camouflaged. So, yeah, Link has the rest of the stream to figure out where I am, basically. And don't worry, Dawn. I said I'd watch over you for the night. Not just 10 minutes or so. I'll put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there. No, okay, my pet's all... Technically, it's not a pet, but at the same time, it is. It's like my little buddy. And his name is Foxy. Spelled Foxie. And he too is with me, so if you're looking for my pet, air quotes on the pet part, because he's more of a little buddy that sticks with me. Then have fun. You gotta find me first. I didn't bring any shoes. You should always bring shoes when you're going out. I'm not wearing mine either. It doesn't matter. Honestly, I'm going to... I know where you are. Really? I mean, your other... Oh, my word. I didn't know we were going anywhere. I thought we were just going to be in the car.
It's alright.
We'll sneak through quick. No one will notice. You can do it just this once. You shared a look with Cove. It was comforting that at least you were on this wild ride together. Kara drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. With the unbuckle of her seatbelt, she ushers you and Cove out. I'm so confused. With what? Link trying to find, air quotes, my pet? Or the story that's going on right now? Anyways, despite being hesitant to leave, once outside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the cinema. Stake if you. No, I might know what. I might be able to help you, Luna, if you tell me. You hurried back. You hurried behind, but you figured the cold tarmac on his bare feet was what was fueling him to go on ahead. Inside, you notice there are no lines at all. No lines. All the current shows had already started. Kara paid that no mind and stood up towards the counter with some words of encouragement. I'm assuming he's looking for like character speaking wise, looking for in character pets. A third of the runtime is ads these days. We haven't missed anything. That's fair. Yeah, no, Luna, that's completely fine. I'm gonna state this now, Luna. This is supposed to be a safe place, so we're only here to have fun and have good vibes. Meanwhile, Ko stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to another and constantly keep looking around. His shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than standing still would have, if there were people around to already notice. But the more anxious he behaved, the more it rubbed off on you. You fidgeted in place. That is the most accurate thing to me in this game that I haven't did not have to confirm about, because like I'll start fidgeting about stuff. You offer him your shoes. Still, you console him. You teased him over it. You complained with him. You kept quiet. He was nice to me. I'll be nice to him. I'll give him my shoe. They probably wouldn't fit someone his size, but still. I can give you my shoes. His eyebrows rose at the offer. Then his expression softened into a pleasing smile. That's really nice, but think we get caught for sure if we started changing shoes out in the middle of the lobby? All right. Exhaling a sigh of relief out of you, Kara returns with the tickets in hand. She quickly herded you and Ko towards the showroom. I made eggs this morning for me and my sister. My sister said it tastes like it was done, even though it was. I don't know how to respond to that one. Granted, people's taste buds taste different things, honestly. Anyways, we're moving on. I am so sorry for the little hiccup, but hold on. We almost made it home free. Once we sit down, it'll be smooth sailing. I love how this is pretty empty. The lights were already off in the showing room, but the movie hadn't started yet. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing.
Aha!
Yes. Keeping her volume to a hushed tone, Kara couldn't help but burst with excitement over your luck. You followed her down the walkway until she spotted open seats in the middle-ish area of the theater. Kara pointed to the seat, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove. Waiting for input, Cove nodded and you decided to give her a thumbs up. And she led the way. When you reached your seat, Kara sit contently. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them down on the floor. He then leaned over and whispered to you. Do you have any idea what this movie is? Nope. I didn't hear the name or anything when your mom bought the tickets. We must be really bad at listening. And I'm a fox, for crying out loud. I would have heard for surely. Oh boy. After a couple more previews, the main event began. It dawned on you quickly that it was a horror film. One about a group of students being haunted by a dangerous ghost. Note to self, everybody, if you decide to take me to a movie, I do not do well with horror. Funny thing is, I really want to go watch the FNAF movie. So yeah, I am really bad with horror base movies. So yeah, you're saying you could live with that. You thought it was gonna be annoying. You made you nervous. You were terrified. You couldn't do this. You had to leave. FNAF, yes, the FNAF movie. I'm excited for the second one. It's coming out, I think, in 2 more days. I'm pretty sure. Someone can fact check me on that one, but it's literally gonna come out soon. I want to watch it. Yeah, no, I'm on board with it. I don't like horror either. Luna, we could chill together if there's like a horror film premiering and it's like, yep, nope. Not watching horror. I will state this. I will become nervous. Friday, I think. Yeah, I think it comes out Friday as well. I will do it might get too loud for you. You struggle with frightening films. Struggle with frightening films. It was one thing to see a movie you knew nothing about, but a horror movie? That was an entirely different story. And it was eating at you that you had no idea what kind of scary you should be bracing for. Okay, Blink. I might need to do this thing where I give you guys a lurk. Like the Twitch side to do a lurk instead of typing AFK, because by technicality, lurk or BRB would be fine instead of AFK, honestly. Glancing over at Cove, you notice that he looked less than thrilled with the movie. He bit down on the bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. Is our boy Cove here also scared of horror films? Cove have never been a fan of ghosts or intentionally frightening things. That was something you learned about him early on. Cove, come here. We could cuddle together and be scared. You remain still. You tap Cove's shoulder to get his attention. You angle your body in your seat to be closer to him. You grab a hold of his hand. You cover his ears. Aw, yes. I'm gonna angle my body to be closer to him. You bent yourself more and more until you were exactly leaning against him. It had been slow enough that Cove haven't noticed at first. But soon he started to peek at you out of the corner of his eyes. He watched you with unspoken questions written all over his face. Will you be okay? You shook your head no. You nod your head yes. No. His face grew firm, and he mouthed something you couldn't make out. Then he did something you could understand. He got up from his seat. Cove gestured for you to the same aisle. The same, and you obliged. You both began to shuffle down the aisles. At some point, Kara must have realized what was happening as well, because in only a couple minutes, the three of you were standing outside again. Mother and son looked at you apologetically. It made you uncomfortable, but Cove spoke out to ease the atmosphere. This was a bad idea.
Come on.
I think you're not on the money. I think you're on the money, baby boy. Baby boy's a cute nickname. Oh. Movies making is lost art anyways. Let's hit the road. That was good with you. You had been scared and worried sitting in that theater, but in the end, Cove backed you up and you didn't have to go through it. In horror movies, I'm a mood killer. I mean, I can shut up, but I'm thinking of saying something dumb during a scene. That's fair, honestly. Thanks for leaving, Cove. I'm sorry we had to go. You're a really good friend. You hug him. You just action speaks louder than words sometimes. We hug him. You were so glad you could count on him to be there. It wasn't possible to stop yourself from throwing your arms around him. He returned the embrace carefully. You stood together in the parking lot like that for a brief moment. I'm back. Welcome back, Link. I really didn't want to see it. I know. It's okay. Cove gave you a reassuring smile, and that was that. Both you and Cove took the same seat in the back of the car again, even though it was late. Kara was trying to keep things light. We can safely say that stop was a bus. I'm really sorry, Don. I should have asked if there were any off-limit genres. What color is it, Link? Orange. Okay. That's one step. What shape is it? What shape is it, Link? Fox shape? I'm sorry. It's not fully a fox shape. So it's not my pet / best buddy. Anyways, moving on. I think I have some making up to do. Who wants desserts? Or just some regular food? What? You were surprised when you realized Kara wasn't on the way home, but turning into a drive-through burger restaurant. Hey! Apparently, Link, your throw got what I'm using to stream on both YouTube and Twitch. My 100th message. I am surprised that it took only 2 days for this many, but at the same time, not that really. Anyways, I'm not hungry. You shook your head. No, yeah, nodded. Why not? Honestly, I'm a why not kind of guy. That's the spirit. Get whatever you want. Hamburger, cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, French fries, onion salad, chicken nuggets, mozzarella, soda, milkshake, soft serve cone, or chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna get a cheeseburger, fries, nuggies, mozzarella sticks, soda, and I think that would be everything. That's normally what I get at stuff like fast food. Is that alright?
Of course.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Cove was tickled by the size of your list and had no disapproval over it. Yeah, no. See, Link with Foxes, that's your fault. Nope, I'm not helping you. That's your problem, Link. Anyways, chat, while Link's dealing with that, I'm going to move on. Kara pulled into the window and ordered what you asked for first. She then decided to order one of everything on the value menu. Link's just having a fun time over there, I hear. Whoa, what are you gonna do with all that? Eat it?
Really?
The whole menu? Even after Dawn picked mostly of that already? That's right. There's only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it. And besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm going to feed to your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at his mother antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. A few minutes later, Kara exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seat. She then drove off into the night. Can you pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. You choose one item wrapped sandwiches and hand it to her. You had no idea if it was a burger or something else.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Accepting that this was what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bag for himself. Hi, Luna. I see you switched over to the Twitch side. As Link is having a wonderful time with the foxes. Cup ended up with some onion rings, and he was happily munching on them. But yeah, hello Luna on the Twitch side. Twitch side. Sounds like you're like trying to sell your soul. Dre, if you're missing out the conversation, Link decided to pick a fight with foxes, and that's from what I'm understanding over there. You select something randomly. You make sure you grab something you liked. I'm fine. I'm just being weird. Yeah, short term is Link's just being fine. It's just fine. It's just being weird about everything. You weren't even questioning Kara's crazy ride anymore. The adventure continued, and you were so preoccupied in the back that you almost didn't realize the car had stopped. Kara turned to look over her shoulder. I'm a goof. Yep. Okay, party people. It seems like we reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except an empty road ahead. And then you notice it. The now leaving sign. Kara took you through the entire town. Trey went to YouTube. Hi, Baby Bean. How are you? Oh, wait. I'm on the YouTube site. Baby Bean, just letting you know, I'm streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. So, yeah. Joys. Enjoy the chaos of what I have as known as chat on both sides. These guys are chaotic already. I can safely tell you. We they're just now playing with being on both sides of YouTube. It's supposed to be his mom. She looks like the same age as him. Yeah, no, Kara's like I think in her 30s. She looks good for her 30s, honestly. What are we doing here? Kara turned the car around and parked alongside the road. I think you both could use a break to stretch your legs, and I doubt anyone is going to come through here this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. Wait, that's the mom. Yes, that is Cove's mother. I got a freaking headache and I hate it. Oof. Luna, I feel that. Cove shook his head and got out of the car without a fight. Hello, yeah. Oof, I hope you feel better. Yeah. You stay in the car. I follow Cove. We're following Cove out of the car. You got out and caught up to Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms while strolling around. You thought being there was exciting. Being there was pretty cool in your mind. You didn't care much overall. You felt worried. You were mad. You just felt tired. It's a pretty cool thing. This is a good place to stop. If she was going to take us all around town, at least it wasn't done halfway. Should I run? No, Link, you shouldn't run. They just want to have a friendly chat with you. Anyways, moving on to the main story instead of Link's, whatever Link's doing. Ko smiled, glancing from the stars to you. Shortly after, you noticed Kove's expression changed. His eyebrows furrowed, and it seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted to say next.
I'm so sorry.
They look mad though. What is Kara's routine? Like, dang, girl. Yeah, I want to know too. I want to stay looking young. And Link, you should be fine. You should be fine, Link. Who now? Kara, Ko's mom. Dawn, I'm really sorry about my mom being crazy tonight. She isn't always like this. Seriously. You let him continue without interruption. I think she feels like she has to get out there and do things with me. Well, she can, and she wants to make time memorable. This visit has been really different than the others, and it didn't start off good. No, I mistyped. But who knows? Yeah. Not the yeah. Anyways, thinking about Kara's trip began in this summer, you could understand why Cove was seeking along those lines. She probably wanted all the trouble to be worth it in the end. Are you having a good time with your mom around? Okay, I get it. She shouldn't have made me part of it. Not understanding. She's giving you a taste of your own medicine. You say nothing. This is mean. This is like a teasing mean, but I will ask him the question. Are you glad? Are you having a good time with your mom around? Yeah, it's still weird having her and dad in the same house, but I love her. She's my mom. I like hanging out with her most of the time. It it went silent before between you both. So you jumped when you heard the sound of the car door closing. Cove, Dawn. Oh, you turned to see Kara by the driver's side, waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where you both were standing. Like, quite literally, like, look at her. She looks like she's a teenager. She looks like she's a teenager, but she's 30. Like, damn, girl. Thanks for waiting. I didn't mind.
My baby.
How did I end up with such a polite boy? Kara, your polite boy is going to become my husband in the future. Daniel's song stuck in my... Oh no! Anyways, moving on. She ruffled his hair, and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. You thought about how interesting it was to see how Cove interacted with his mom. I'm 10 years off. Cough. Dang. And then the memory hits you. That first summer, Cove ran away to where his very spot, trying to find his way back to his mom, and now here they were together. Yes. I need to know your guys' your skin care routine. Come on, please. You kept it to yourself. You whispered to Cove. You say it out loud. I'll whisper it to Cove. Taking a step closer to Cove, you lean in close to share the moment just with him. Isn't it strange that your mom took us here? This is where you went to try to see her when you moved out of Sunset Bird. I look like an adult since 13. I already have a beard already. Oof. I just look good and I just have good genes. I have no routine. Damn, okay. Cove flinched and his eyes darted over to his mom, worried that she heard. When he was satisfied she didn't, he turned back. Yeah, it's weird, but she doesn't know it happened. At least I'm pretty sure she doesn't. Really? Dad likes to tell her things are fine so she doesn't worry. Not in trying to keep it a secret. Like, that's personal, honestly. Cove looked at you gratefully and shared a conspirational smile. Cooperational? However you say the word. Anyways, it's kind of cool to be right on the edge of town. Exactly. We're standing on a pre-receipt. Pre-seat. Chelsea stare. Yeah, I think so too. I don't really see what's so different about it. You didn't have a strong opinion about it. Didn't have a strong opinion. You nodded along, not wanting to press the subject either way. Kara let out a big breath of air. We should probably call it a night, huh? Let's go. I can't wait to collapse in bed. Kara shyly smiled and gestured to the car. Quietly, you all made your way back to it. Cove naturally followed you, taking a seat nearby the back with a collection of fast food bags still stewing about. Retail, and even if I know you all... Yeah, that's kind of one thing. You do check the IDs. You rest your head into the seat as the car roared to life as you did. Cove leaned in close, whispered, "Policy.
Hey.
Can I talk to your moms? If they do get mad about tonight, for some reason, it was my mom's idea. You didn't have a choice." Oh my gosh, Cove. Thank you. Thanks, I might need it. I'm just glad we're heading back now. This was worth it even if they get mad. That's just how it is for that. I worked retail before, so I know. Yeah, that's fair. Nodded. I'll give him a thank you. You're welcome. Cove smiled bashfully at you, but said nothing else. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was off completely, and you felt your eyelids getting heavy. Your head rested on the side of the car. Your head came to a rest on Cove. I am a simp! You were too tired to keep your head up and felt quite comfortable there. Cove didn't have any issues there. He leaned into it. Simp! I know, I'm taking the simp card with pride here. He must have been exhausted too. You were happy to stay close like that. It was warm and comfortable. ... When you opened your eyes, you expected to still be in the car, but not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. Chat, I teleported. Sitting up in bed, you thought how last night was quite an experience. It almost felt like a dream, more than a real event, but it definitely happened. And you were glad you had gotten to have a spontaneous escapade this summer. Escapade. So last story before we end the summer, which before we start reading, because we're gonna move on. I'm gonna open up something just so I'm not dying with coughing. Fast travel. Yes, we fast traveled by technicality. I didn't want that. X. You whittled away the morning, doing whatever struck your fancy. And now you're recharging with lunch, with nothing on the horizon. You were free to spend as much or as little time on your plate as you wanted. It was a while You were thinking about all the possibilities of your afternoon. That your mom's approached you.
Hi.
Hi, Don. You okay? Mouth full, you nodded in reply. To your surprise, they both sat with you at the table. Based on the time you had wondered if they were joining you for a meal, but neither of them brought anything.
All right.
Great. We wanted to have a little chat with you. We need fast travel. Let's just sleep. Sleep. Oh, looks like we're here. Yeah, no, chat. I have a bad feeling about this. I genuinely have a bad feeling about this. I want your guys' guesses. What do we think is gonna happen? Like, what do we think is going to happen? Good luck, Don. Wow. Ouch. You're getting in trouble. I mean, they're smiling, so I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble, but good chance. The qualifier, Little, did nothing to downplay the situation. You're chewing slowly as your eyes widen, looking from one parent to the other. Anything that requires both of them to talk to you must be something big. Okay, I'm not that dumb. It was unsettling. You perked up, your mind full of expecting possibilities. Shrill interruptions to you groan. It was unsettling. Yes, you are. I'm not that dumb, okay? You didn't like being the only one not knowing what was going on. Stomach churning. You waited for them to fill you in.
There.
Don't look so worried. It's nothing scary, promise. I'm not going to accept it. There's a sorry at the... Sonori? Hold on. I'm actually going to type this up. How do you pronounce that? Hold on. Chat, hold on. I'm typing this up. Oh, it's French.
Soirée.
Sorry?
Soirée.
Sorry? I have no clue, chat. At the crypts tomorrow night. Your ma and I are going. The Crypts was the country club your moms were a part of, and you were a part of, and where Elizabeth played golf. It seemed like every other month they have some event around or another, all with fancy names like Sorry. Chewing your lips, you wondered what this had to do with you. Mom chuckled at your poor, couldn't tell reaction. Leaning in, Ma took your hand and squeezed it. We've decided to make the night a bit special. Elizabeth's going to be allowed to stay home fully alone for the first time.
Sorry.
You still be coming to the party with us. It's Elizabeth's night to party with no family around, not yours. Sorry. you've gonna you're gonna wait a couple more years. Oh, that's not fair. You were disappointed by the news. All right, I can go. What's the story gonna be like? That's not okay. I'm gonna be real. I'm going to be a bit of a brat. That's not fair. What isn't? I want to stay home too. She had a sitter when she was your age. Being left alone for most of a night can be dangerous when we have to make sure you're ready. But don't complain too much yet. I'm now scared. Yes, you might change your mind about staying when you hear we've got what we've got for you. Ripped on. Oh. Temporarily placent, you held your retorts back and listened. Your parents shared a look across the table. You clearing your throat, remaining them that you were waiting. They couldn't keep dropping such hints and then turn coy when the conversation was about to getting good.
Well,
Since it's a pretty fancy party that's still chaperoned and attendees are allowed to bring a guest, we thought it might be nice opportunity for you to invite someone yourself as a date. Excuse me? If you want. Oh? Excuse me? A date? Your eyes widened as the words sunk in. Your mom's consume your quietness continued. Even though we'll be at the party too, you don't need to worry about us getting in your way. You'll be free to eat, dance, and enjoy the music as you see fit. But no leaving the property. Ma nodded at Mom's interjection.
isn't that great?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the party and if you rather bring just a friend, that's okay too. They are letting the simp date. Okay, they're awesome mothers, okay? That's amazing. How disappointed. You didn't know how to react. I don't know how to react. I'm 13 years old in this timeline. Not sorry. When are you not sorry? Your parents were smiling at you, clearly expecting a respawn, but you were still too shocked to formulate anything of that kind. You hadn't even imagined this was where the talk was going. When I'm asleep.
Don't worry about it.
The soiree isn't till tomorrow, so you got time. Just let us know your plans before we're heading out. And that's all. We'll leave you to your lunch now. Your mom rose from their chair in unison, disappearing to another part of the house. You barely noticed their disappearance. All you could think was, what just has happened? The remnants of your lunch stared up at you from your plate. I felt like finishing it. I should finish eating. I will eat. The conversation had taken your mind off the meal, but you opted to try and eat a little more. You picked at the plate for a while longer. Even though you relocated to your bedroom, your head was stuck on the conversation that had unfolded at the dining table downstairs. Overthinking Dawn right now coming into play, chat. You knew that I could have someone as friend would be best. You want it to be a date. You didn't want to bring anyone. It was too soon to pick one way or another. Honestly, simp. I would love it to be a date. That's just normal for you. Yeah, it is normal for me. This prospect of having your first date made it impossible to sit still. You couldn't help but juggle your foot as you land on your bed, contemplating the possibility. The night being a date would mean actually asking someone out. The little you knew that came from what you've seen on TV and movies, what you heard about from kids at school. Simp. I know I'm a simp. Your moms haven't entertained the idea of you dating until now. You went over possible words and phrases in your head, setting up scenarios and smooth segues. I'm not going to try and read that one. I feel like read better than you at this point. Honestly, I'm terrible at reading. I think this is common knowledge at this rate. Before tearing them down and trying something else. You realize that you were picturing Cove as the one you were asking. It was too bad you didn't have anyone specific in mind on your imaginary romance. This would just be mean. I would pick this one. You buried your face in your pillow, not wanting to continue after noticing. You laugh awkwardly to yourself, smiling. You close your eyes and the daydream crystallized in your head. This would be me. Your cheek felt like they were burning, so naturally you tried to be smooth them with the pillow, but there was no one else seeing you're embarrassed, but you felt it keenly at the same time. Cove was your friend. You've been friends for years. Why did your thoughts about him have started getting out of control like that? I wonder why. Slightly, you shift positions on the bed, resting your arms on the windowsill. A flock of birds caught your eyes and led your gaze as they crossed the sky. Okay, shut up, Link. You watch the birds grow smaller and less distance until they disappeared from sight. Like the snap of the hypnotist's finger, you realize from the trance and left with goals of your own, you were going to take a walk. You amble through the familiar streets of your neighborhood, picking your path with whim. It was quiet as ever, with tourists choosing to congregate in the shopping area near the beach rather than the venues into the sleepy residential zone. You continue down the road, and soon you found yourself at the shore. The fresh, salty air hits you first, rolling to meet you over the grassy dunes. That tickled your legs, followed by the familiar view of the sea stretching out across the horizon. You came to a halt. A lone figure was standing in the ocean in the water reaching up to his knees. I know you do, Link. I know you do. Though he had his back to you, you recognize the familiar silhouette as Cove's. Of course. It made sense that you find him here. He always was in the element by the sea. Of course he was. You had no idea if he heard your arrival or if it was a condensate words. But he looked over his shoulder. Your eyes met. You smile, you wave, you call out. You nervously head closer. Confidently head closer. I will nervously get closer. Your feet kept trying to trip up your eagerness to reach Cove, but you managed to keep from falling and making a fool of yourself. Yay. Cove smiled at you, bathed in a soft light of the afternoon sun, with his hair gently tousled by the sea breeze. He looked especially charming. He then fully turned around and began to wade through the water over to the shore. You wanted him to get to you already. You could hardly wait to talk about this. You hope he took his time to come. You relax after running into him. Honestly, it's a mix of both of these. But I think if we're going the route of me being a very shy person, I think we're going that one. Instead of standing on the shore, you felt like you were on the edge of a cliff. Valid. The question of whether to invite him, and if so, in what fashion was in front of you, between leaping into a world of unknown for enjoying safety or familiar. Hey Don, are you free right now? Not exactly. My moms are taking me to a sorry tomorrow at the country club. You wince at your abrupt transition to the topic and hope that Cove wouldn't mind. He'd been known to dive into new and unconnected topics in the middle of conversations, after all. A sorry, huh? Sounds exciting. He was smiling politely, but you could tell that your outing mention hadn't sparked much interest. Rip. Your heart, which had lodged itself somewhere in your throat, and when you spotted him, dropped. You stared at him, weighing your opinions. Cove tilted his head curiously as you fumbled with what you're going to say next. Hold on, chat. I'm going to take off my hoodie because I'm wearing my hoodie. I'm getting a little toasty with it on. Okay, hoodie is now off. So let's move on. Who better to invite on your first real date than Cove? The only person who could make you giddy was just a smile. But you were afraid he'd think it was boring or worse, wouldn't want to go out with you as a date. You resolved it to make it a date. You asked him to join as a friend only. You decided to not to ask him at all. You didn't want to force him to come. You decided not to ask him at all. You didn't feel like having a guess. Honestly, I'm ripping the band-aid. I'm gonna ask if he wants to go on a date. Closing your clammy fists, you swallowed and tried to conjure up the right words. Cove continued to watch you expectantly. It might have been easier to do this right now if he was wearing something other than just a swimsuit. I mean, yeah, boy's not helping me here. Dawn? Cove, I want you to be my date for the party. Do you want to go on a date with me? My parents said it would be alright if I brought a date, and would you like to go to the party with me as a practice date? I will do that. You dance around the unspoken question, hoping that Cove would catch your drift. He's blushing, chat! Caught off guard, he lifted his head in front of his chest. Out of surprise. Then he packed them down in a cross over his chest. He twisted his face to the side, no longer able to meet your eyes, and he still couldn't hide the flush on his cheek. Lol, simp. Hey, he's simping over me too.
Oh my god.
Are you serious? You nodded, nodding your finger together anxiously. Oh, I'm doing the little, like, fingers pointing at each other and just... I was doing it in real life, just none of you could tell, but... I was doing that, just like... His lips were pressed tightly together, preventing any more words from slipping out. You could tell that he was nervous, but that was always easy to pick up on him. After another moment, he inclined his head, damping in a nod sigh that you might have missed it had you been able to you've been able to tear your eyes from him. Oop, I gotta go. Housework later. Have fun. Okay, see you, Dre. Thanks for stopping by. Yay, really? Excited. Thank you. You're welcome. Really? I will definitely do the really. Cove closed his eyes, trapped in the awkward pose. He was gripping his arm so tightly that the skin around his knuckles was fully taunt. Cove lingered. Tension made it impossible for you to relax completely. Cove exhaled at last, letting out a sigh that stretched across to another tense scene. His stance loosened His arms stayed crossed over his chest, but was no longer clenching them like a shield. You didn't want to be the one to break the quiet. Thanks, Don. I guess I'm going to have to tell my dad and mom too. Right. I'm gonna let my moms know you're going. Can you come with me? Yeah. It was a relief that he thought enough to manage speaking again. You hope that by the time you got to your house, he'd be able to manage full sentence once more. When Cove went to where he discarded his things in the sand, tugging a shirt over his head and slipping on a pair of shoes before joining you in setting off home. The two of you stepped inside in front of your house. It was an action you took in together countless times, but your stomach had never churned quite like this on previous occasions. At the sound of the door opening, your mom poked her head into the hall.
Hello.
Hello! Ah, Cove, it's you! What a surprise! She chuckled at her own joke. Cove was always there, and she knew how close you two were. Bringing anyone other than him back would have been an actual surprise. Hi, Mrs. Fox. It's nice to see you. So, I take it Cove is going to be our guest for tomorrow's night. You nodded your head vigorously, beaming at your mom.
Well,
And what kind of outing will it be? Her voice was hesitant, but serious. Cove ducked his head down reflectively. You knew that he figured out what she was driving at. A date. You know what it is? You know what it is. What does it look like? You couldn't bring yourself to speak. It's a date? Mom nodded in understanding. She wore a wispy smile. Cove is blushing again! Ah! Ma's going to be thrilled about this. Cove tilted his head back up just slightly. He peeked through the longer strands of his hair. Just her, Miss Fox? Even if you were able to see his wide, worried eyes, you have heard the anxiety in his voice. Your mom sighed and patted him on the arm. Oh, Cove, you're a great kid. Most parents hope that their kids meet such a nice, special person someday. She glanced aside, a worried expression on her face. Someday is the real key word there. She turned back to you both. But you just had to move in right across the street at 8 years old. Mom crouched down, shaking her head and pulling a hand on each of Cove's shoulder.
okay.
Cove, I hope you're planning on being very good to Dawn. And I'm not just talking about tomorrow night. Oh, damn, Cove. I feel bad for Cove. He's getting lectured by my mother. She nudged him playfully on the cheek with a fist. What's a fist? Cove, who had been blushing when all this began, was now as red as an heirloom tomato. Dang. Oh, damn. Yeah, you're telling me, Link. Okay, yeah. I was, or will. You're making him uncomfortable. Stop embarrassing me. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. Cove definitely is going to be good to me. Come on, Cove. What kind of answer was that? I would definitely say, stop embarrassing me. You cover your eyes in your hands, wishing that it had been Ma down here when you come home. Then again, Ma would have just been as embarrassing, but in a different way. She might even have cried. Dang. He didn't speak further. His eyes locked down his shuffling feet as he rubbed the scar on his arm. The redness remains intact. Okay, I put Cove through the winger enough. The big day isn't even here yet. You wondered if that meant she intended to give out a reply to his performance tomorrow. You are afraid to find out. He is simming just as much as you are. Yep. I'll give you folks a call and get everything squared away. She headed off to get the phone, leaving the two of you alone. Cove's eyes darted to you, and he shot a glance, delicate smile before starting at the ground again. I'm going to cross the street, talk to my parents. Bye, Cove. You saw him off with a wave. He retreated from your home entryway without another word. And the rest of the afternoon passed just like that. Back in your bedroom, your mind was all light with visions. Tomorrow's night, the soiree was something, but not nearly exciting as it was going to be. First date. You were thrilled that Cove had actually said yes, that he was your guaranteed date to the party. You hugged your knees to your chest, overawed by the thoughts the night couldn't come as soon enough. The evening of the story had arrived. The daylight hours have slipped away in a blur. Up in your room, you were getting ready for the big event. That was your intention, at least, but you hadn't settled on an outfit. Stationed in front of you of your wardrobe, you scanned over the clothing you had at your disposal. Though Mom had mentioned this event was a bit dressier than a normal get-together, you didn't necessarily have it to comply. You looked for something formal. You kept things more casual. You looked around you wonder how Cove might feel about your outfit. Honestly, I would do it for Cove. You couldn't help but consider what he would respond to the way you were dressing, where you dress. Would he like seeing you dressed all fancy, or would reform to the weirdness of the situation? Your mind drifted across the street as Cove was Was Cove going through the same steps right now? Staring at his wardrobe, trying to decide what to wear? You had no idea if he was going to dress up for the occasion himself or if he wear his usual attire. It would have been much easier if you knew what he was going to do. Exactly. You didn't want to look stupid in front of Cove. You wanted to impress Cove. I don't want to look stupid in front of Cove. Okay, I'm gonna have to pick one of these. I'm gonna pick something formal. You attempted to decide between nicer place in your wardrobe, the ones that rarely had a chance to come out. You decided to dress formally because felt like you had to. You honestly like dressing up. You were dressing to impress. You ought to put things you own to use. You wanted to make Ma happy. I will state this: own to use. It was a little depressing. They were high quality clothes, but the label meant that they hardly got to be see the world outside your closet. If you have at least given them this chance to furl their function in life. So say you decide to wear a dress, a blouse, a button-down shirt. Chris' shirt wear a clean, formal look for a reason, were especially foil point. You paired your top with a skirt or dress pants. Dress pants. You picked up a pair, complete complement the color of your top, and nodded with satisfaction. It was a stickle look. A slick look. You begin to dress your fingers working stiff zippers and awkwardly fastening things. It felt different against your skin, reminding you with every movement that you were dressing up. Whether happened tonight, you were pleased that you've gotten the opportunity to wear this. Now dressed, you gave yourself a final glance before heading downstairs, ready to head out. You found your moms already waiting in the living room. They're putting the finishing touches of their outfit. Ma strapped her heels into a stiletto shoe, and Ma trying to fasten a bracelet single-handed. Oh my gosh, my mothers look pretty. They looked up at you as you entered. Oh, Dawn, you look so nice. Don't you think, Pam?
Thanks.
Thanks for dressing up, Dawn. I hope the party will be prepared in your arrival. You look sharp. Ma was still struggling with the bracelet. You lend a hand, literally, by taking one side and holding as she secured the clasp. Thanks, kiddo. Mom then glanced over the clock on the wall, seeing where the hands were pointing. A frown increased her face. When Cove going to be here? Do you know? He's getting here at 7 soon, probably. I'm not sure. Picking up his place. I'll go get him. Honestly, I'll go get him. Oh, yeah. She raised her eyebrows, a broad grin replacing the earlier frown. That's very polite of you. Go sweep him off his feet. He wants to leave and we want to leave in 10 minutes. Okay. Cove's house was mere seconds away from yours, making the warning unnecessary, but you fully went out. After crossing the street, you found yourself at Cove's very familiar front door. You rang the bell. Those chimes was lodged in your head from all the times you ranged it over the years. Though unlike usual, Cove's mom, Kara, was the one who answered it this night.
Come on.
Hey, Dawn, come on in. She beckoned you inside as if she was excited to see you. That words alone weren't enough. Thanks for coming. The boys will be right down. They're just in Cove's bedroom. I can call them if you want. It's alright, I can wait.
Great.
Sure. She took a seat on the sofa and had a chair. Feel free to put your feet up. While you wait, Kara easily filled the time by chatting with you about your plans for the night ahead. Hey, Cove's dad's here. A short while later, Mr. Holland strolled into the living room, giving you a wave. Cove pulled his face into a smile as you reciprocated. The tension in his face faded away. You watched him taking your outfit, swallowing and grinning at you again. Hi, Dawn. You flattered your hands in a clumsy wave. He opened his mouth to speak more, then paused. Cove checked the time using the clock hanging on the sidewall and addressed his parents. We've got to go. Even if there hadn't been time for real discussion, you felt relief about the positivity reaction. He abruptly headed towards the door.
Come on.
There's the fire. Where's the fire? Isn't there something you want to do before leaving for the dance? Oh no. Cove froze, wincing at the call out, while his dad continues to smile. Encouragingly curious, you watch Cove expectantly. It was hard to imagine what he would want to do before heading out, or what you had time for. Your mom's warned about not taking too long, echoed in the back of your mind.
Come on.
Can we do that later? Right, sorry, forget I said anything. Have a blast, you two. You wave goodbye before following Cove onto the street. Cove sighed being a hand across his forehead. Seeing the look on your face, he shook his head.
It's okay.
I'm fine. It's nothing. Okay, sure, it's nothing. That was good news. You didn't think Cove would get much fun out of a party if he went in already feeling bad, but it didn't explain his action or his dad teasing question. What was your dad on about? His expression grew pained. His brow creased and his mouth furrowed as he avoided meeting you. Oh, gee, sorry, chat. Avoiding meeting you in the eyes. You might have gotten worried if it was not for the flush color in his face. He's just embarrassed. Cove drew himself up before responding. Dad has been making a big deal out of everything since he found out about this. He gestured vaguely between him and you. How I'm dressed, how I should prepare, what's going to happen. He's even looked up the precise definition of soyer in 2 dictionaries in case one was wrong. I mean, that takes dedication then. Wow. He wanted to make sure I would know what to do at 1. So after he figured out, he made sure to tell me about it. He exhaled, smiling sheepishly.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry for complaining. It's not your fault. It's not really his fault either. It's okay. Thanks. I was trying to get somewhere with that. Both my dad and my mom insist that, since this is he paused, pushing his hair back from his burning face and forced himself to continue. It's a date and kind of a fancy party. I need to bring something for you for inviting me. Damn. Kelv, you didn't have to. The conclusion of the story caught you by surprise. You blinked, unsure if you slacked too much on your own preparation for the night. You got me a present?
That's...
Not really, just this. Cove reached behind himself to take something out of a back pocket. His hand returned view with him holding a single small orchid by the stem. Cove threw his gaze on the floor, shyly inching his hands closer to you. It's my favorite. This is nice. Don't like flowers. Honestly, version. This is nice. Cove audibly sighed of relief. You got the impression he had been stressing over the flower he chose. He took that answer as a win. You didn't need to do this, Cove. Sorry I didn't get you anything. Thank you, Cove. You're so wonderful. Well, I will tell him he didn't have to do something like this. It's no big deal. I mean, like I said, you're already the one who invited me. I only get to go because of you. Then you accepted the flower behind you. Then you accept the flower from him. Cove straightened himself out in response. So we're going to be late if we keep standing here. Right, we better hurry. You return home, Cove, in tow. Your moms welcomed you back. You expected them to pile you back outside immediately, but their urge was momentarily stifled as they caught sight of the flower clasp in your hand. Thankfully, others than sharing an infuriating, knowing smile, they took it in stride and didn't say anything. Mom's smug look vanished as she caught sight of the clock. Remembered. Your moms whisk you out once more into the car off to your destination. You pulled up at the country club. Sun sunk deep into the horizon. The last of it lightly sleeping warm onto the night. Your mom led the way to the space around the back where the evening event was being held. The place had transformed through decorations with small tablecloth and elegant ribbons contributing the festive atmosphere. Musicians dressed in matching black and white were setting up their instruments and flickering through pages of sheet music, and was promised there was a table covered in plates for carefully prepared food. Destination reached. Your parents rounded on you and Cove. Things haven't kicked off yet, but don't let that stop you from enjoying yourselves.
Have fun.
Have fun. We'll be around if you need us.
See you later.
See you. Bye. Oh, that was... I know I can...
See you later.
Okay. Cove... Sorry about that, chat. Cove waved your moms off. Once they retreated in a distance away, you found him watching you, expectantly. What now? It wasn't a question, but plead your help. You could tell that he definitely didn't know what to do with himself in the situation. Well, we'll have to wait for some things to start, like the band, but unless there's stuff going on already. Cole perked up at that.
Really?
Oh, do you want to do any of those? Whatever they are? I will check the snacks and table refreshment. We can go eat some food now, even if the music hasn't started yet.
Oh?
That's okay. It's not too soon. Yeah, I only like the parties because of the free food. I knew you would come just for free food. Honestly, I do like when parties give you free food. Let's go check it out. The two of you wandered over to the refreshment table. With being early in the night, it had barely been touched, and the plates were nearly as pristine as they left the kitchen. The offerings were tiny and bite-sized, ready to be picked up and sampled. It was immediately apparent that there was pretty plenty to choose from. Oh, sorry, chat. Just from the level of care with which it was presented, it was clear that this was fancy stuff. Cove started at one plate, then another, confused. I
maybe?
I think I know some of this. I don't know. I know there's usually their food, but not what this is. Cole smiled at your reaction, seeming assured that you were on the same level with him when it came to understanding high cuisine. Cole squared his shoulders as if getting up, gearing up for a match. His stance was familiar for him all the times you've seen him prepare for some sporting event. I'm going to try it. He picked up a plate and took one appetizer, then another, and another. Soon you realized he was taking one of every single type. You gestured at his mounting plate of food. Why? Well, why not? Honestly, I'll join him. Maybe there was some hidden gems this time. It was worth a try. Cove nibbled his way through through everything the crypts had. The results of his endeavor were mixed. He was revolted by some of the things he tried, openly screwing up his face and rushing to find a drink to wash the taste away. Yet these bad experiments didn't stop him from plowing on, moving on to the next snack with open mind. And that was my phone that I dropped, chat. There were some foods he was neutral about, dismissing them with a shrug, but best of all were his reactions when he stumbled across something good. Each time caught him by surprise, his expectation morphing from wary curiosity to spectacle interest before making a way for astonishment enjoyment. Rip phone. Yeah, rip the phone. I recovered it though. Regardless of how he felt about what he was currently eating, you could tell he was having a good time, just being free to eat whatever he laid his eyes on. You thought that was nice too. After going through a round of sampling, you continued munching on the refreshment, waiting on the music. Honestly, I would do that while I wait for music. In no time, all the sunset is in full. The lights faded in, and opening notes of the band first song rang down. You and Cove stopped what you were doing, turned to the complete the party that had been steadily unfurling. While you were distracted, it was much bustier now, both in the term of people and activity. First step were to take onto the dance floor. Some tentative, others eager. And even if the band hadn't been playing, the constant level of chatter would have been ensured that it was a quiet night. With the party now in full swing, your options had increased. Too much. Much demand for more. You know what? I will ask Cove to dance. So would you like to dance maybe? Hey, Cove, let's dance. Cove, we have it. Come on, it's time to dance. Honestly, I would do the so. Would you like to dance maybe? Really? He blurted the word out without thinking, then clamped a hand over his mouth before anything else could slip out. You nodded, hoping that he would accept. Cove sucked in a deep breath, as if trying to inhale confidence as well as oxygen into his lungs. He gave you a single serious nod before holding a trembling hand out towards you. Felt nervous right along with him, let's be real. Taking a steady breath, you remind yourself that nothing here could hurt you, physically, at any rate. This time, this train of embarrassment through was leading you down tunnels of potential embarrassment. So you tried to keep your mind on the moment. You took Cove's outstretched hand, his skin and hot and damped, but yours was probably no better. You squeezed it, giving him an empathetic smile, and together you carefully made your way to the dance floor. You took your places, standing before each other, hands intertwined. Frowning, Cove ascended the situation, trying to puzzle it like it was a math problem before putting his remaining free hand on your shoulder. I respond by putting my hand on his waist. Gently, you took his hand from your shoulder and moved it lower down for the dance. His eyes shocked at the touch from how tense his arm was. You knew Cove was fighting the urge to pull away. But ultimately, he smiled shyly at you and gripped on your other hand tightened. You gazed up at Cove, who seemed suddenly aware from the few inches he had over you. Cove awkwardly glanced down at you from the corner of his eyes, looking almost apologetic. The music had begun. You both moved eagerly, trying to catch up to it, but your feet took you in opposite directions. Oh no. Fumbling, the two of you shuffled from side to side, attempting to mirror each other's movement, but always winning up at the odds. It was difficult. Cove was struggling to just coordinating his own limbs to the rhythm, let alone matching your movements. When Cove foot ghost over yours, it was decided to be safer for everyone if you simply swayed in tune. You rooted yourself to the floor, your torso gently moving to the sound. Gracefully, Cove kept his movement small and subtle in the same way. You were distantly aware that all the other dancing couples were men paired with women, unlike you and Cove. It didn't bother you, made you feel a little uneasy. That's so many eyes, honestly. So yeah. Catching you checking around for reasons, Cove smiled sympathetically and whispered loud enough that no one else on the dance floor could hear.
Are you okay?
Do you want to stop? You shook your head. It wasn't your action which were the problems. It was where you weren't going to condemn defeat. All was fine for a little while. You weren't going to win by dancing isolated with Cove. Accolades, I'm struggling to read. With Cove, but that didn't matter when you were treasured just being close to him. Cove stepped out in sync with the music knocking against you. He flinched back, nearly pulling you over in the process. You took a hand from him and held it up, halting proceeded so you could both get your bearings once more. Should just stick with Hokey Pokey. It's okay. Dancing is harder than I thought. I'm signing you up for dance lesson. I would do this definitely as a joke. Instead of laughing, Cove looked off. I don't really want to. Then you took Cove's hand once more and gingerly resumed swaying to the music. Cove reluctantly followed suit, his step small and apprehensive. He mumbled something quietly. This is a long song. You weren't sure how to take that, whether it's meant to be something was wrong, or if Cove didn't really like dancing, or if he didn't like dancing with you specifically. It made the last couple of minutes of the song uncomfortable as you weigh up what to do what Cove to say. When the musician laid their instruments down, Cove dropped your hands as if they were burning him. He trailed off the dance floor as quickly as he could without breaking into an outright run. In truth, you bet even that was faster than most people could have managed. You had difficulty tailing him before he could get lost in the crowd. When you caught up, he said nothing. You tried to get him to doing something else, but anything from him was now impossible. You focused over Cove on how he was finding the evening. He sighed. It was so quiet and unobserved that unobservative. That's the word I've not seen at all in my life. That you wouldn't have caught it if you hadn't been watching him. His gaze was roaming. Well, his gaze was roaming with how far away his eyes seemed. Whatever he was searching for couldn't be found at the party. He turned to face you before you could say anything. I want to sit down. We can do that. Cove began to move, and you instantly followed him. Yet instead of taking a seat at one of the many free tables, as you expected, Cove ignored them all and purposely strolled out of the party area. Cove! You called, didn't seem to register. Sim continued forward and onto the green golf course. You went after him, trying to watch out for the uneven ground underfoot, the clods of the earth dislodging in game for golf were perfect for snatching unwary feet in the daylight. Up ahead, Cove didn't appear to have any difficulty traversing the uneven land. He settled down on one of the hills of the golf course. You joined him, still unsure over what was going on. Are you alright? And why are we here? What's wrong? Why did you drag us out here? Look at us breaking the rules. Didn't say anything. I'm going to be genuinely being like, what's wrong? Oh. Let me dive real quick, chat. Okay, I'm back. Cove started as if he was acted on instinct, and your question had brought him around to reality again. Simp, hey, this man is fine.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And it's okay. You can go back to the party. You didn't budge for your spot from here. The party was just glowing haze in the distance. You didn't want to leave him behind. You were glad to take a break. I don't want to leave him. You shook your head. I don't want to go without you. And not unless you want to. Oh, thanks. He's blushing. Ah. Now that Cove was more at ease, you tried to find out what had caused him to take flight in the first place. Even thinking the world pained you, but you had to know the answer. Did going to the party with me made you uncomfortable? Logically, you knew that the issue was likely the activity rather than your company. Your heart strained with worry that you had been at fault, though. Was it because I made you dance? His abrupt department was that of another indicator that something had gone wrong away.
What?
Away. No. He shook his head emphatically. It's not anything I did tonight. It's definitely not anything you did either. Relief overcame you. You suspected as much, but with this being your very first date, it was hard to be sure. Lol, you simp. Hey! I gotta make sure he's okay. Cove attempted to fill in the gaps of understanding. I don't want to think about going back to the party. I just feel ready to go home. Should I? Honestly, I would ask that question. Should I get my mom's? I don't want to ruin their night. Oh. Ko sat there quietly gazing out onto the shadowy hills and valleys of the golf course. A completely warm wind rustled between you tousling his hair. It was so far away from the hubba hubba of the party, you could even make out the quiet sounds of cricket chirping. Oh, yes, an awe moment. Let's be real. He needs love. This is the kind of, like, how we first met. Do you remember? How could I forget? Like, quite literally, how can I forget? It's on the internet. You always liked him, even from the very first day. It was so weird that that was a long time ago now. Link, you can be disappointed in me all you want, but this is my man. You thought back to the day when Cove first arrived in the neighborhood. He had ran away from Mr. Holland, taking solace I cannot read. In the hill behind your house. Weirdo. Hey, you're not any better. You are also a major weirdo. It had been late too, on a clear night, like today. Looking at the sky, you wondered if the stars that were looking down at you were the same ones as then. You can't even read. I know. Yeah, I know I can't read. There's words on here that I don't even know how to say. Because it's either your words I don't use generally, or it's words that I use, just I wouldn't spell them that way. Ko's face was brighter through you. Through you, you could see signs of the strain that had caused him to depart from the Soris. When he first sat down and curled up into like a pill bug, hunched over, knees pressed to his chest and arms wrapped around him, he wound it as if you've been talking straight up, his hands free to gesture glistenate. It was as though the two of you had constructed your own little world away from everything else, and he was beginning to perk up. The small smile that crept onto his face was quickly ushered away by a frown. I can't believe I'm on a date. Call followed up. You're eroding my shot here. Cole followed up the statement before he could react. He spoke in a distantly whisper tone, as though you were the only one in the world who can share these words with. After I said I wanted to come, I wanted to take it back. And one of my cats entered my room, chat. And now yelling at me. Hi, you want to say hi to chat? Meow. You want to say hi? You want to say hi to chat? Come here. Meow, you want to say hi? Anyways, as I was interrupted by a cat, I wanted to come. I wanted to take it back, not because I really didn't want to do it, because I don't know. It seems like a big deal. It made me feel bad somehow. I started feeling like I couldn't do it, even though I just wanted to do it. I want a pet. Well, you're gonna have to come here. Sorry. I guess it was sort of like having to give a presentation in front of the class, even though it was just me and you doing something like we always do. No. Yeah, that's kind of the rules. He charged on, his words streaming out. I still could do it because thinking about not being there. You want out, cat? Yeah. Okay. Here. Are you staying in here or are you wanting out? I swear my cat can't make up her mind. Meow yourself. Make up your mind. Anyways, I'm gonna start from the beginning of this. I still could do it because thinking about it, not being there and you. There. You can now leave my room. Meow. Make up your mind. I have a stream to do, cat. My cat, I swear. Yes, I'm talking about you. Meow. Anyways, moving on. And whatever you might think I did, take it back, made me feel way worse than whatever else I felt. Okay, the cat decided to leave. That's the second time today, by the way, Chad, that my cat came in my room and yelled at me.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Don. I'm sorry I can't just deal with stuff like this and have to make everything so complicated. You don't need to apologize. You sadly hung your head. I'm sorry I made you feel bad. I don't want you to be here if you don't want to be here. You smiled at him. You didn't have to come. You could have told me. Honestly, I would definitely tell him he doesn't need to apologize. Then took his hand. Then place your hand on his shoulder. Then lean against him, ruffle his hair. You hope he would feel better. Honestly, I would take his hand. His skin was cold to the touch. His fingers coiled delicately around yours. He finally moved his head to look at you straight on, eyes meeting yours. Thanks for inviting me, Don. You stared back at him, not comprehending. But didn't didn't it make you feel bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. When I had to think about it, how I was actually doing it, but getting to hear that you want me to come makes me feel good. He flushed and braked into a fragile eye contact made. I mean, I do keep doing things with you no matter what, even if I feel weird sometimes. I don't want to stop being there. I don't want you to stop wanting me there. 'Cause when I do whatever it is for real, and you're with me, it all feels better at the end, does it? Always does. You felt a tug on your hand and found Cove in the process of standing up. You joined him on your feet. What was that? Hey. Give me a warning next time. What's up? You tilt your head in an unspoken question. Honestly, yeah. Cove smiled awkwardly, brushing some grass aside from his pants.
Wanna dance with me?
Want to dance with me? Your eyes widened involuntarily. You were not expecting that after what happened earlier. The reaction didn't escape notice. It's a dance party, right? And I think... He trailed off, brow and frowned, as if he was trying to figure out the answer himself. Nodding slowly, he continued. I think I want to dance with you again. Before it's over? With the only words he had to explain gone, he just held up his hand to you. His expression was soft. I want to dance with you too. Then you reached for his hand and took in yours once more. Cove bit his lips as your fingers intertwined together, his cheeks reddening. You return hand in hand with the party, reaching the end of a long evening dance. Couples had become scarce. One pair among many were hard to notice, but the space around you would act like as a spotlight. Not that there were many left to watch you. He was still at ease, even beyond by this pent crowd. This time there was a spring in his step as you walk into the dance floor together. Cove hold on your hand and given him back on the hill. Remembering your earlier attempt at dancing, he placed his free hand on your waist. All on his own, though still in touch of still was a touch of tepidation. Ugh. Words are wording. Cove hesitantly, hesitated, hesitant, hesitantly, uh, while you waited for a sign. With the song in progress before you stepped out on the dance, there was no more single for the right moment to begin. The same thought occurred Cove, who struggled his shoulder with keeping from taking that as you simply as you started pointing your curia cautiously began to sway. Cove readily followed an example. Words, Don, use them. No, I don't want to use the words. You dance wordlessly, dimly aware of the music guiding you. You were more focused on Cove, whose attention was firmly fastened on you. Unlike before, when he had a nervous look down at his feet, as if trying to keep them in check, his eyes were steady. He didn't even allow himself to shake when your knees knocked against each other, other than you both briefly fumbling your steps. Instead, he chuckled, and it was soft as the rolls of the morning tiles, as lips curved into a cherry crescent. You had been drifting into dreamlike state, but that expression, one that you have never seen before, pinned you back into reality. Your heart was caught in a clinch, held tight and yet straining with the effort of thumping harder than it had after any amount of physical extraction. As if in response, his hand began to hold yours, which increased strength. He pulled you ever so slightly towards him. Though about what it meant or what it might happen when it wasn't over eased the both of you. You were capable to simply have a dance. Time flies as you took in the small moment. All too soon, the song reached its conclusion, and you could have continued contently, for some time more. You stilled one of your hands in his. Cove showed no sign of moving either. It was hard to let go. You hear your name called out, and that brought the dance truly to an end. You both spun to find Mom yelling for you and Cove. Beside her, Mom was shaking her head.
Sorry.
It's time to go home. Lonnie and I had to get a hold of them somehow. What did you want me to do? Sneak up on them? Her chosen method was admirably better than that. You still wince at how dazed you've been when she announced her arrival. No, I'm not going to use the words. Cove looked so embarrassed that you seriously worried about him feeling again. This time, you didn't think he'd stop until he was out of the grounds. Despite Cove reaching the reaction to the scene with your mom, to you it's been a perfect evening to the evening. You were glad you got a chance to dance with Cove once more before the night was over. And it definitely was over now. You didn't need to say anything to Cove. The two of you marched wordlessly over to your parents, who were still bickering faithfully. Standing shoulder to shoulder, your parents surveyed you and Cove. You wondered if they were checking that they were returning Mr. Holland's son in the same state that he left home.
So,
That was quite a night, huh, gang? Wasn't it just? Cove managed to self-consciously smile. Yeah. Ma smiled too, an expression so soft it could have crackled a newborn chick.
well,
And how was your very first date? Please don't start on them already. It technically hasn't even ended yet. Fine. Good. Well, we better ready ourselves to get back to Elizabeth. If we're lucky, the house might still be standing. Oh no.
Pam.
Oh, shush. She swatted your mom playfully, laughing at the comment. You cast one last look at the party. You saw people exchanging a few farewells and surprising yawns. Most of the faces were happy ones, despite the weariness that started to creep in. Cove had held his head was angled way away from you. As you gazed, wondering what he was looking at, he came around to meet your gaze. It was a little strange, though it was only a few hours of your life You felt like a little older as a result, attending the party. It was like a setup away from the world of your childhood, where dressing up is reserved mostly exclusively as former play towards something new. You haven't yet grasped it. Turning away from the final moments of the party, you shelved that thought for another time, as your moms eagerly led the way back to the car. As you and Cove trailed after them, you felt childlike once more. And we finished! However, we kind of reached the 3-hour marks at chat. So, we're going to be ending up calling it here for day 2. If I am correct, I would definitely keep your guys' eyes out for tomorrow, around the same time. That should be the next time we'll be streaming, hopefully. So yeah, keep your guys' eyes out on that. So let's see. Anybody alive? I might send you guys to a raid, but I'm not seeing anybody. So, chat both on Twitch and YouTube. That's kind of going to be it. yeah, you guys get to listen to me fumble over my words. And I think this is a clean run through. So hopefully tomorrow, if tomorrow ends up being a stream day, works. If it's the case, then yeah. But other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow.